All right, this is a strategy guide for Disney's California Adventure. Again, another great Disney park. I really enjoy this one. There's some very interesting experiences to it. This is not, in my opinion, is not as overwhelming as Disneyland, just because there is a simplicity of the layout of this park that's pretty easy to get from land to land, and there's just not as many lands compared to Disneyland that's directly across from it. But this strategy guide is assuming you're taking advantage of your early entry hours, and also that you have Lightning Lane that will be booked ready to go. Caveat: the most popular ride in this park, and it's not even close, is right here. It's the Radiator Springs. Yeah, right here. It's a fantastic ride. There's a reason why it's so popular, but I highly recommend for using your early entry. There's really only two options, in my opinion, of the correct way to do early entry at this park, and one of them, which I would be, you know, I think is the best suggestion, is to book it, make a beeline for Cars Land to ride Radiator Spring Racers as your first ride of the day. That being said, I will explain one other alternative strategy, just because another popular ride is over here, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Missions Breakouts. There's lots of other popular rides like the Incredicoaster or Soren's over this way, but just because you can get lightning lanes in this park, pretty good for a lot of the popular rides. I am going to encourage you, just because for Radiator Springs Racers, the lightning lane there is an additional fee. So you're going to start here. Remember, either on the right or the left. Make sure you get there nice and early, and you come on in here. And we're gonna put you on the right side, just to come on in. And the purple line, this will be the Cars Land strategy. So you're coming in here, and again, you're trying your best to not get distracted by anything. I know it's fun, I know it's exciting, it's awesome, especially when you get to Cars Land. They did such a good job with Cars Land. Try not to get distracted by everything, because lots of other people are going to want to take pictures with Mater and things like that, and you can. But if your goal is as many rides as possible, try and get to the rides and then focus on that stuff on your way back out. So you're coming in here, going up to Radiator Springs to get in line here with your early entry, and then experience Carsland. Carsland, they really did do a fantastic job. There's lots to see. It's easy to spend a good amount of time in here. But after Carsland, I would recommend then cutting back this way, and then you can go either towards Pixar Pier or to Hollywoodland. For this purple line, I'm gonna recommend coming over to Hollywoodland, and like check out the Avengers Campus, do the Spider-Man ride, do Guardians of the Galaxy Missions Breakout. If you're okay with, it's probably one of the more intense rides in this park. So just be aware of that and gauge your intensity level. But you're coming in here, and there's the Monsters Inc. ride over this way is a lot of fun. There's something at the end of that ride that is hilarious, and I recommend making sure that you interact with whatever that thing is without spoiling it. Uh, and then coming back out this way. And now I would encourage you, if you do want to go straight to Pixar Pier, you can. But coming over this way, try and get on Soarin' here. And again, managing your lightning lane throughout the day. Friendly reminder: Lightning Lane, every time you book it, you want to set a timer on your phone for 2 hours so you can book another one. Or as soon as you sign in with that one, then you immediately look for your next one to sign up, because that will also dictate kind of the route you're taking. Grizzly Peak. You will get wet on Grizzly Peak. Unless you are decked out in rain gear or something, you're going to get wet. So just that's up to you if you do it or not. Um, but yeah, Soren's over here. Fantastic experience. You're coming over this way. Grizzly Peak, whether you do Grizzly Peak or not, these trails here are really beautiful. They did a great job designing them. So I always encourage people to walk that way. Or there's like the playground over here as well. But you can check out this area of the park. Then come on in here to Pixar Pier, and doesn't depending on if you get a lightning lane for the Incredicoaster or for Toy Story Mania over this way, that will kind of dictate what you do. But if you come over this way, Goofy's Flight School is another popular ride. I enjoy it as a I wouldn't say it's the most intense coaster, but it's a fun little coaster for Goofy's Flight School. That's over this right here. But you're coming on in here. Toy Story Mania is this way. The Ferris wheel, friendly reminder, some people love this, some people do not. There are certain uh, vehicles on it that are swinging and others that are non-swinging. So just ask the cast member for that. The swinging ones do, if you are prone to motion sickness, I would not recommend the swinging ones. But just noting that about the Ferris wheel there. Coming on this way, one of the best snacks in any Disney park is Jack Jack's Yum Yums cookies, which is found over here by the Incredicoaster. So strongly encourage to get uh, you know partake in a Yum Yum cookie. And you're coming along this way, uh, and back towards here. And again, you might have to zigzag around here a little bit, in any of these areas, but you're just checking the ride times, going with the flow. World of Color, there's, pardon me, when you're doing night shows, you always do want to have your exit strategy kind of planned out. I do think going here is a good place for World of Color. And then if depending on how much you get done, feel free, check out some of the other lands again. If you have a park hopper ticket, you might want to go park hop. Another route to take here, and I'll use a blue color for this one here, is going Hollywood Land first. I don't recommend doing Grizzly Peak first, just because there's not as much over here, and there there's more when the first land you go to, ideally you make it one where there's lots of options that are close to each other, and that is the advantage of Hollywood, right? So if you come on in this for the Hollywood, you'll want to be on the left side. Come on in, and then you're immediately taking the route into Hollywood. There's the Talk with Crush. There's the Monsters Inc. There's lots of cool stuff going on in Hollywood Land. Obviously, Guardians Mission Breakout being the most popular. You probably want to book it towards there, and then coming back out this way. Now, the disadvantage of this is the line for Radiator Springs Racers, it just gets so long so quickly. If you're content that you are going to purchase the individual Lightning Lane for it, then maybe that's an option for you. Or you can manage and watch and see if the standby wait time goes down. Or if you don't mind standing in line, it is a pretty nice queue. But for Hollywood Land, you'll come in this way, and I would encourage you, if Radiator Springs Racers is its high priority, you would then go in this way and do Cars Land, come back out this way, and then get into Pixar Pier, kind of going more around this way. And again, it depends on your lightning lanes that you purchase or that you are able to book as well. Coming around this way, make the decision if you're going to get wet at Grizzly Peak. I guess a bit of a pro tip is if you know you're going to leave the park to go back to your hotel for lunch or something like that, maybe getting wet just before lunchtime, that's the time you do Grizzly Peak, and then you can get changed or something. Totally up to you. And if it's a hot day, that might be refreshing. Then come back around doing Soarin'. And again, this park is not nearly as complex to navigate, just because it doesn't have as many activities and shows and rides as Disneyland does. But that's just kind of two strategies you can take in it. And again, highly recommend World of Color. It's a fantastic show. And yeah, oh, and also for snacks, I do recommend checking out in Cars Land the different cozy cones that are right here. There's some good eats in there, especially if you're looking for ice cream. And yeah, that concludes this short little kind of strategy guide. And I hope you have a fantastic day at Disney's California Adventure.